Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing, and it will be fabulous. I will be healing 142 people in 13 different countries. Yes. And I should give a shout out to where everybody is just for fun. So in this set of 3 healings, I'm healing 142 people in 13 countries, including 7 kids, ages 6 to 17. That and thumbs up for those amazing parents getting their children healings. About that. Isn't that amazing? And of the 142 people, 112 are in the US, 5 are in the UK, 5 in the United Arab Emirates, 5 in Canada, 2 in South Korea, 3 in Qatar, 3 in Ukraine, 2 in Bermuda, 1 in Portugal, 1 in Switzerland, 1 in India, 1 in Japan, and 1 in Australia. So hello, hello, hello to everybody that I will be healing because they purchased this set of 3 healings on my website, which is JW Healing. All right. So the theme is a 3-part theme for this whole month. It's a 3-part theme that we're doing each time, which is hearing your angels, which also I broadened it to include hearing your own inner wisdom or the wisest parts of you, which could include your higher self, like a lot of past life knowledge that you have, subconscious knowledge you have. Just because it's like it's like in the same neighborhood as being able to hear your angels. So the angels pointed out to me that if we work being able to hear your own wisdom, it's like it's a good sort of way to get there. So we will do some direct stuff today about, melting blocks in between you and your angels, but 2 days ago we did a lot about helping you to communicate with your wisest parts of you. But anyway, so hearing your angels, creative inspiration, and stability through self-care. So it will be good. And I'm going to talk specifically about today's stuff that we're doing, the techniques, the concepts. So I will do that now. Change my heading though first. All right. Oh, and also for those of you who missed it, I did do a big political discussion part 2 days ago. So I don't really feel the need to do one also today. So if you missed it though, you could refer back to it in the first healing 2 days ago. And it's got its own little chapter. So anyway, okay, so today, different things that we're different like subgroups of what we're doing. There's one about focus and mindful actions, which ties into self-care a lot. So being able to mindfully choose what you're doing, so you don't train wreck on something for 3 hours without wanting to, like, oh, I'll spend 10 minutes on this. And then 3 hours later, you're like, what happened? Right? So for focus and mindful actions, we'll be doing some strategic unblocking. I don't really want to list it all right now, but what we're going to be doing, but we will be doing stuff for that. Well, I'll go into it quickly. Okay, so we do like clear stabs, clear stubborn triggered energy blocks, right? But I think if you're actually in the middle of being stuck on certain energy blocks and like people are courting them or invasive beings are courting them, they don't feel like stubborn triggered energy blocks. They feel like intense, right? And so I was thinking today, calling them, clear intense blocks, clear focus splitting blocks, because that's how they feel when you're dealing with them. They're focus splitting. They're, so it's like you're in 5 places at once. And so you can't really remember what you meant to do. And they're certainly intense. They're intense because A, it's your baggage, but B, invasive beings or people are courting them and like sending a lot of their energy in through them. So that's what makes them. So anyway, we're going to do a bunch of that. I think that will help people, with their mindful actions and choices, being able to think about how they're spending their time, as they're going through their day. And also we're going to clear barriers to healthy self-awareness in the moment. So like, because if you're doing some activity, like, you're in the YouTube comment section, going on and on about stuff with people, for example, or you're, binge watching Netflix or something when you actually really, really don't have time to do it, or whatever, you train wreck on. Part of the barrier to being aware of what you're doing in a constructive way and a healthy way could be shame and guilt and self-judgment. So it's like you could probably pull yourself out of doing that for so long a lot sooner if you weren't so embarrassed by it or so, judgy on yourself about it, or so like kind of disturbed by the fact that you really did only mean to spend 10 minutes. Here it is, 2.5 hours later. So, so clearing barriers to healthy self-awareness, I think, can really help with mindful choices and actions and time management, stuff like that. So, it relates directly to stability through self-care, that part of the theme. So anyway, that's that. So that is sort of under the focus and mindful actions sort of concept that we're working today. There's a new one that I'm going to do, which I think is more like, well, anyway, I'm going to give it its own chapter, first of all. Okay, so I'm explaining this. We'll do it later in the healing, but receiving zones. So I have talked about how you bring new energy in and you can bring new energy in. There are like 3 locations where people tend to bring in a lot of new energy that I have mentioned. One is, down through the top of the head, through the creative rings, through the 7th chakra in that way. Another one is directly down into the shoulders, which is kind of interesting and useful, which years ago I didn't really realize, but it's very nice. And it can alleviate some pressure in your shoulders if you, unblock enough so that energy that's supposed to come in can actually come in, your energy. And then good karma windows. That's back here behind the base of your skull. That's another avenue. So those are technically receiving zones. But today I'm going to work sort of big receiving zones of like above, which is one of the ones I was just talking about, but also below the feet, for receiving earth energy up. And like I'm going to just loosely sort of divide the body at the waist, and so yeah. And so this would be a receiving zone, this is a receiving zone, this is a receiving zone, and this is a receiving. So those 4 areas I haven't really talked about much as receiving zones. And they're pretty cool to work that way. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you can have some of your energy queued up in it may not be sitting right in front of you, but it wants to go in that way. Like that it's your energy, but it wants to go in this way. And so if you unblock enough, then it'll go right in this way. And I feel like it feels really good. I mean, some people, they don't feel healing in the moment. So, but so we're going to do that. And I think that should be especially interesting for the legs. So this receiving zone and this receiving zone. So the waist down to the feet in both. Because there is, if you unblock it, there is energy of yours that wants to just directly come in this way. And I think that could be really interesting for people to, like, just, because we haven't done it before, and it's cool. Basically, I don't want to hyperanalyze it too much. It's just cool. And so it'd be good to experience that. And I think that helps with a lot. I mean, that helps. That's just one of those things that can help with everything, because the more present you are, the safer you are, the better boundaries you have, the better your abilities work, yada, 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 on and on and on. It could help sleep, all sorts of stuff. So anyway, that's receiving zones, meaning the big ones that I just mentioned. That we haven't really worked in that way previously. So that'll be fun. Fun for me. So another one, not so earth-shattering, is we'll be unblocking the Kundalini chakra and also the first chakras. First chakras, plural. So everyone has one Kundalini chakra because it's only in the physical body directly beneath the first chakra. So first chakra, Kundalini chakra just below it. And they're like, open cylinders, just like all chakras. Red is a good color for both the first chakra and the Kundalini chakra. And since they're both nudged up against each other, they're nice to work together. So, but I'm going to make sure to unblock the Kundalini chakra quite a bit today, because I did notice in the surveys, people, thank you very much for your survey. If you did fill it out, I appreciate it. And it's helpful for me to reflect upon survey results and just healing results and just in general what people need these days. So I've noticed that, I noticed that some people, their Kundalini chakra was sort of underactive, and they felt very somebody said they felt muted. And I think part of that was their Kundalini chakra was off, but they didn't realize it. And so it just felt kind of odd that they felt like kind of flavorless. They missed that little oomph. And then over revving, somebody mentioned that their kids come home from school like wrecking balls into the house. And generally, well, in that case, and I think it's not uncommon that's because of the Kundalini chakra over revving. And so the person's like, they have all this energy, and they walk in the room. It's like, whoa, oh, you have a lot of energy, don't you? So I think if we unblock right around and within the first chakra and the Kundalini chakra, then they can self-regulate better and just chill out and just, I mean, of course, if someone wants to rev their Kundalini chakra, then that's what they're going to do. But sometimes it gets revved too much or too little just because it's blocked. And so it's not actually exactly where that person would prefer it to be as far as how much energy it's generating. So we'll work that. And of course, Kundalini chakra needs to be not spinning at all for you to go to sleep or stay asleep, go back to sleep. So I'd just like to mention that. Oh no. So anyway, we'll unblock that today. Okay, so this is a new technique. It's something that we talk about, you know, that you can have people in your space, right? And sometimes you're not really aware of who's in your space. Sometimes you really, really know, but sometimes you're just like, okay, well, I'm overwhelmed, you know, or I feel, I mean, if you're really, really overwhelmed, you probably also have damage, you know, to a chakra or several chakras or auras, multiple groundings. One of your 5 essentials is not quite right in a significant way if you feel truly overwhelmed. But so, you know, that's probably the first step, is to get your 5 essentials regulated. But sometimes it's so overwhelming, the people in your space, that maybe that's a good thing to do first. So I don't know, you can just use it. But it's a cool technique that we'll be doing where you imagine yeah, I'll go into it later because I don't want everyone to do it now before they've done their 5 essentials. So we will get to it, and it'll be its own separate chapter. So by late tonight, when I do the chapters, then it'll be easy to just find that chapter. I'll probably call it that: Invasive People in Room Melt Floor. You know. But anyway, it's a fun way to pop people out of your space, and also to realize how many people are actually in your space. So there's that. And that will help, you know, boundaries with people. It could also, you know, really help all the other things too. Because with people in your space, and all your abilities are more smushed. So there's that. So this is sort of the etc. section where it's like various things that we're gonna do. 3 other things I wanted to mention. None of them earth shattering, but probably all helpful for sure. One is a repeat that we did 2 days ago, clearing self-care blocks. And that's super easy. You know, you just put the baggage out in front of you that's, you know, in the way of you doing self-care, doing enough healthy self-care, and clear it. You know, so that could be all sorts of things: other people's energy, your energy, baggage, all sorts of things. So we will again clear self-care blocks. And we will do a standard thing, which there's even I think it's a 3-minute video on it in my short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel page. It's probably called "Let Your Angels Help You More" or something like that. But yeah, we'll just melt a baggage wall if there's any baggage between you and your angel, blocking communication, blocking you from realizing or allowing their help, you know, whatever. So we're going to do that. So obviously that will help you hear your angels better, but also even just let them help you subconsciously and hear them subconsciously. Hearing your angels subconsciously is a valuable thing. So like, because a lot of people that are less advanced, they might think, well, I never hear my angels, so, you know, it's kind of like pointless for me to work it. I don't think it's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But hearing your angels subconsciously is still really powerful because it can guide you quite a bit. You know, and subconsciously you could be communicating with them and considering their input, and, you know, being positively influenced by what your angels have to say. And you know, that can happen way before you end up hearing them consciously. So so it's a great thing to work. Just melting baggage walls in between you and easier. And then the third sort of extra thing that's not, you know, ground earth shattering but good is unblocking tree trunk areas. So that's all the major joints, unblocking your major joints, you know, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, elbows, but then also above your tree trunk. Like, because if invasive energy comes in from the top, it can anchor into major joints that I listed if you're blocked there. So we would unblock up top and also all these. So that's unblocking tree trunk areas, and it'll be its own little chapter. in this healing. So that's that. So I'm going to take a look at chat comments. Hopefully they're just, you know, light, not like, anyway, I'm going to look at chat comments and see where people are viewing from. If you wanted to put, you know, where you're viewing from, that's fun sometimes to know. You don't have to, but you could. If you want to put like the weather that you have right now, that's so me personally, I'm in Olympia, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest, the northwest part of the US. And it is very green and very cloudy and rainy, but it's like PNW kind of rainy. It's like misty and not like downpour. It's like a more gentle rain. Everything's like super green. And weather temperature wise, it might be kind of warm right now. It might be up to 50 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. Not really sure, but I bet it's probably about 50, which would be maybe 13 degrees Celsius, I guess. Okay, so let's see what people have to say. It says okie dokie about my flexible start time being pushed even later today. So it says we can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Hey, Janet, can see and hear you in Chicago. 45 and 47 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Oh, that would be. Someone says, hello, Janet, and everyone from Las Vegas, Nevada in the US. Sunny and 70 Fahrenheit. How about that? So what is that in Celsius for people? Maybe that's like 22 degrees. Someone says, May I recommend you to my 19-year-old daughter? Sure, why not? Yeah. You could send her the short video playlist if you want. If you go to my YouTube channel page, there's you look down, there's short video playlist, and there's all these little short ones, you know, that's like 10 minutes, 7 minutes long. Or you could just, you think that would like kind of blow her mind too much to have too much to choose from, then you could just pick one of the grounding videos in that playlist. There's one on grounding and non-resistance, and then there's one on grounding where you heal your arms and your legs also. Kind of cool. And grounding is always like a nice start, but you know her better, so you know what might feel to her. Yeah, that's fine. I have clients pages. So it says, hello, Janet from Italy. Well, hello to you. Thank you for the smooching emojis. Someone says, liked and shared with my mom in West Lynn, Oregon. Well, thank you very much. Yes, you mentioned her in the last stream. Well, hello to your mom. Hi, Mom. I heal actually a lot of families, like people purchase healings for their loved ones also. So I heal a lot of people who buy them for their adult children or their mom or their siblings or all of the above. Both their parents, you know. Sorts of combinations. All right. Cool. So I have to put out the sheets of everybody's names just for my own reference. I like to be able to read people as I'm healing. Make sure everybody's doing okay. I get that situated. I guess I could do, while I do that, I could do, what could Yeah, I'll do a quick sales note just while I put out my paper. So, quick sales note for those that do not know or forgot. My website is jwhealing.com, and you can purchase a set of healings. Even the one that's coming up this month there are some spots for it. And that will be on the 17th and the 20th of this month. Thursday the 17th and Sunday the 20th of this month, April. And that, oh yeah, and then the May sets are also on sale on my website right now. And the May theme is abundance. So that's always pretty exciting to work. But it can also help the other first chakra qualities, which are safety, courage, so reducing fear and anxiety, that good stuff. And of course, every set helps with all sorts of things that you really can't predict by just looking at the theme. So use your intuition or do all of them, which is fine too. Alrighty, I'll set up. All right. So now we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet. And towards the end of that, I start the healing without talking for the first minute. And then the whole rest of the time, I'm healing and saying out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So feel free to heal yourself as you listen if you want to use it as a walkthrough. Good for motivated beginners or all the way up to super duper advanced people. As long as you're super duper advanced. All right. So now I will finally be quiet. Like the Okie doke. Thanks for waiting. So, hand chakras are awesome for self-healing. You have a big hand chakra in each palm of your hand and a fingertip chakra in each. And you can set with your intention, you don't have to see, you can set with your intention those particular chakras to a metallic gold color, glitter. And what that does is then as these chakras spin and they generate energy, it sets the vibration of what they're generating to be that metallic gold color. And that's a very nice sort of ideal color for repairing, unblocking, releasing. So then you can use one hand to unblock the other. And like I said, each energy center is like an open cylinder. There's a round opening at each end. So you can unblock each of your hand chakras. And your wrists and that whole route from your shoulders on down. Because like I said 2 days ago, getting into your body as a spirit is like kind of like putting on clothing. Like you don't just pop into your hand out of nowhere. Most of your energy comes through your shoulder, through your arm, into your hand, like you're putting on a shirt with a glove on the end of it, because your astral body, to get your astral body in your physical body, it's like that in each leg, and in each finger. So if just like with a glove, if you have something in a certain finger of your glove, you can't get that finger in, right? So you want to like unblock both, really, your astral body hands and your physical body hands. Your astral body shoulders, physical shoulders, astral body arms and elbows, physical body arms and elbows, astral body wrists, hands, fingers, physical body, hands, wrists, both astral and physical. Good job. Okay, so grounding would be the first of the 5 essentials that I keep talking about. So let's redo both your groundings. Make them brand new, make them nice and wide as all your auras, all the way down to the core of the earth. Make them wide all the way down so they attach to the core of the earth. Help you release, help you receive earth energy. And you can make a copy out in front of you of both of those groundings. Make them both the same color, either red or orange or yellow. So one grounding is for your physical body and your physical body aura, and one grounding is for your astral body, which is you as a spirit, and your astral body aura. And just use the gold light from your hands to comb through, and it's like you're detangling, like as if you're tangling your hair. Find the knot, and you just kind of use gold light enough to release, So just find the blocks in your grounding and just use enough gold light that they melt away. Okay, so comb through your groundings, find the blocks. So much gold light that they melt away. And you want to bring up your groundings high as your 3rd chakra, which is below your sternum bone. So here's your sternum, and right below that chakra, bring up your ground. That gives extra support to your lower chakras, 3, 2, and 1. really distracting. Indie grounding is where you use gold light and you wash the outer surface of your groundings all the way down, and you melt away with gold light. You melt away anybody's grounding that's hooked into your grounding, and also any hard objects that are sticking out. You just melt those away with gold light. Even if you like somebody, it's better, their grounding works better if it's just for them, and your grounding works better if it's. All right. Good job. Okay, so you have 17 auras. Physical body, astral body, and then 15 auras called your Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It's your strong boundaries. Although they don't talk about how you have 15 auras. That's some of the angels. So anyway, you imagine all your 17 auras all around you, right? Make a copy out in front of you of those 17 auras and just comb through them with gold light. And check for rips. And also energy blocks. You want your aura to be very flowy, and whole. You want all the auras to be whole, free of rips, and very flowing without any stuck parts, right? So just use lots of gold light, get things flowing a little better. Check to see if you have rips. If you have rips in any of your auras, then aura repair is important so that you're not leaking. So we're going to repair all the rips at the same time. Just make an image of a rip, and with your intention, you say to yourself, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips in all my auras, and then you repair that rip, and that composite copy rip, as you're repairing that, you're repairing all the rips. So you make your composite copy rip, you say, okay, this represents all the rips that I have, and then you want to clean it out really well first. So you could use sticky gold wax and fill it up, and the sticky gold wax is just gold light from your hands that with your intention would stick to everything that's not you. So you fill it up with sticky gold wax, have it stick to the invasive beings, the invasive people, the hard objects, just lift all that out. And then give that to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky wax, lift out the junk, it's a big lump. Angels, here you go. And then get the gold light really deep in there so that the rips can appear. So that probably repaired most of your rips, but you may have a couple left over. So make another composite copy and have it represent the leftover rips, and then do the same process. So leftover rips, sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Angels, here you go. You can also say, angels, if there are any invasive beings still, in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? And then just use extra gold light to repair these. Right. So really quickly, you have gold mesh spheres, 3 of them in each Wei Qi aura. So they generate gold light, and that's why those Wei Qi auras, they're the big flowing gold force. So the gold mesh spheres, there's one that's innermost, then a middle one, then an outermost one, all around you. But they can be ripped. They can have big gaps in them if they're from damage. So just comb through all your auras and check those gold mesh spheres. Use gold light to repair them, clean them off. So up and generate. So again, we're repairing your gold mesh spheres. Just really quickly. All right. And you can double check the outer surface of all your 17 auras just to make sure you didn't miss any little leaks. Use gold light if you find any to repair them. And then you can redo your gold buffer zones. I have a video on that. If you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. But they help slow the rate of aura damage if you recreate them regularly. Okay, so creative rings 1, 2, 3, they are a part of your astral body energy system. They're right above your astral body head. You can make a copy of them out in front of you. You want to repair them and unblock them, melt cords going into them so that the flaps can relax. They have flaps. This is like a top-down view of any one of those 3 creative rings. And these flaps are sticking out, which you do not want, because if they're sticking out, it's just easier for other people to cord, and they're leaking energy, and it's a mess. So just use gold light and melt cords going into them from other people. If they're invasive beings cording them, it's easier just to have your angels recycle the invasive beings rather than dealing with them over and over. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? But it may take a little bit of work to melt enough of the blocks and enough of the cords that those flaps fully relax. You may also have little spear objects, pried into stuck in the open flaps, so you can use sticky gold wax and just have it stick to any hard objects that are sticking into your creative rings, and just have the wax stick to the hard objects and move the wax out with the hard objects and give them to your angels. Again, sticky gold wax your creative rings, have it stick to everything that's not you, that's good to have right now, and move the wax and that junk out. Angels, here you go. A little extra repair now that that junk is gone. So you may feel a little bit, you may have like an extra awareness of, if you're sort of aligned, because there's it could be that now you have more ability to bring your new energy in this way and more ability to send your 7th chakra energy upward to your 7th layer through the creative rings now that they're blocked. So if you need to, do any stretching or anything, just to enjoy that even more, the feeling of being more aligned, we'll do that. Okay, so chakra repair and unblocking. Again, chakra shape is like this, open cylinder. So you can make an image of an open cylinder and have it represent, with your intention, have it represent all your chakras, your major chakras, your minor chakras. So even acupuncture points, chakras all over that you have, so many in your body and your spirit. So just melt cords and unblock, wash everybody out. If you have any invasive beings messing with your chakras, you can say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my chakras? You can comb through the chakra itself, you know, so your energy hand can go through the chakra and just drag out what's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and then just melt it with lots of gold light or gold fire, or you could just blow it up. You drag out the baggage, melt it, or blow it up. Drag out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, melt it, or blow it up. You can also, if you prefer, you can lift up the baggage out of the chakra. So here's your composite copy chakra, and you lift out the baggage up above, and then you can melt it or blow it up out of this chakra. Lift it out, melt it, or blow it up. Melt it, blow it up. And we can think about our themes. The 3-part theme, hearing your angels, also hearing your inner wisdom, creative inspiration, and stability through self-care. And you can lift out any baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of that would help you progress with these themes. Lift out the baggage and melt it or blow it up. The baggage, melt it or blow it up. If you have any left over that's not destroying, just give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with it? One final time for the theme. Lift out any baggage in the way of the themes. Melt it or blow it up. If you have any left over, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okie doke. Good job. So GKW stands for Good Karma Windows, which is, don't have a nice drawing at the moment. I will do a quick one. But good karma windows are one of those receiving zones I talked about. If they're repaired and unblocked properly, then it's a nice safe place for you to bring in good new energy of yours, like positive change, good karma from the universe, a gentle amount of like energy from the moon and the stars and stuff. But if it's damaged and then you have invasive energy in it, in that area of your good karma windows, then it's a bad thing. It can feel very overwhelming. So that's why we're going to repair and unblock. So this is maybe closer to a life-size version of the good karma windows back here. Maybe it's bigger than that, but not that much. So that's a triple frame window. That's what the good karma windows look like. Window, 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 all the way back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. They're a part of your astral body energy system. One in each astral body aura layer. You just imagine, you know, all of them all lined up and just comb through them and repair them and unblock them. Get rid of everything that's not you from that area. Lots of gold light. You don't have to be able to visualize them. You just use gold light and your intention. That's fine. But same thing like we did for chakra repair. You can lift out the baggage, blow it up or melt it away. Lift out the baggage, melt it up or blow it away. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this area, can you please recycle them? And base of skull points are acupuncture points, which are chakras. I call them minor chakras just because they're not the 7 major chakras along your spine. So those 2 rows that you see of dots, the the one at the level of the top of the earlobe and the horizontal line at the bottom level of the bottom of the earlobe, those are what I call the base of skull point. And those you can just, they're all chakras, minor chakras, acupuncture. So they fit within the meridian and they generate energy like all chakras, and they help energy flow, in this case, within the meridian itself. Right? So just here, each of these chakras and unblock them. And comb through them and behind them in the auras, and just gather up all the junk and melt it away. Gather up the junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, melt it away with gold light. So these chakras can be, smushed. They can be blocked up. They can have hard objects stuck in them. So just pop out the hard objects. You can do sticky gold wax on these just to get all the junk that shouldn't be there stuck into the sticky gold wax, and then lift out the wax, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, all these meridians and acupuncture points here, just to get rid of what's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, and then lift out that wax. Angels, here you go. So you want each of these chakras that you're healing, these acupuncture points, to be repaired enough and unblocked enough, right? So are they generating enough energy? Do they have enough energy flow through them? And again, comb through them and outward towards the auras. Melt away all the junk that you catch up in your hands. Comb through them and outward. Melt away all the junk. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in this area, you can make a grounding for the base of your skull, and extra grounding for the base of your skull. Make it red all the way down to the core of the earth. It can help you extra from these base of skull points. And again, you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in this area, can you? Why would you ask so many times? Well, because your angels are going to do what's healthy and gentle to do at one time. So they do that, and then you get more present, and then you're ready for getting rid of even more. And so then you ask again, and they get rid of even more. Oh, right. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, unblock receiving zones. So I had said that the receiving zones that we've worked in the past are, above your head, above your shoulders, and your good karma windows area. in that you bring in your new energy through those areas and receive them, right? Receive that energy. So, but these are, today we're working big receiving zones. And it's no, like, there's no law that you have to work it exactly this way. This is just how I want to do it today. But you could make a smaller receiving zone just for your chest, in front of your chest or something. But what I'm going to do is sort of have a dividing line at the waist and just, you know, this is a receiving zone, this is a receiving zone, this is a receiving zone, and this is a, and then, you know, above, below. Those. So there's 6 receiving zones that we're going to work today, you know, with the waist being the divider line. Okay. And what does that mean? You can imagine the energy that should be of yours, that should be, you should be able to receive through, like, say, let's just do this one. You can imagine the energy that of yours that you should be able to receive through this area. Imagine it queued up just outside your aura. It doesn't necessarily have to be queued up right outside. It could be somewhere far away, but you're just not ready. You're not unblocked enough, so it's not coming in directly this way. But it wants to, this part of your energy. So you just keep on blocking here enough so that it can come in. But if you want, it's kind of fun to imagine it queued up. Imagine what color it is. Like maybe it's your energy at orange or your energy at whatever color, you know, and that's kind of extra interesting then if you see it queued up and then you unblock enough and then you realize, oop, it went in. I have more energy now. So anyway, we could do that first, just the front upper, you know, upper receiving zone. So you imagine energy queued up of yours that would come in this way if it could. And then you imagine the blocks in this part of your energy system that are in the way of that. And then you want to clear it, you know, that mindful clearing that we had talked about a couple of healings ago, where you, rather than just clearing the block, you first get rid of, you have your angels recycle the invasive beings, and then you melt people's cords out of it too. Because then it just clears really easily and there's no drama. There's less chance of backlash, you know. So just find those blocks, and they can be in any auras. So, you know, you don't have to think about which aura they're in. You just think of, you know, that front receiving zone, the front upper receiving zone from the waist up, you know, this whole area, and what of your energy wants to come in that way. And what are the blocks in the way of that? So just comb through, find all the blocks in the way of that. And then, you know, we're doing what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So just do a certain amount of blocks that's healthy and gentle to do right. And so you find those blocks and then say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then you want to wash people out of these blocks. Like there could be lots and lots of cords from different people. Wash everybody out, melt all the cords. So you could maybe set it all on fire with gold fire. Get everybody out of these blocks. And then they'll just block. They should melt really easily at that point. Like almost automatically. Once you get rid of the invasive beings and melt all the people out. So then the blocks melt, and that energy that of yours that wanted to come in from the front like that, just should have just done it. Just right then, once you melted the block. So, we could like do 2 rounds of the receiving zones, maybe. So that was the front one. Let's do an upper back one. So here, right? So imagine, you know, energy of yours that wanted to come in this way to strengthen your back, you know, your physical back and just this part of your aura, but it can't come in because of the blocks there. And so you just comb through all your auras in that area in the back, you know, from your waist up back here, comb through all that space and get all the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now that would help, you know, unblock this receiving zone. And just say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk. Deep breath while your angels do that. And then melt everybody's cords out of all these blocks. There are likely a lot of cords from different people for different reasons going into these blocks. And so melt all the cords. And then wash everybody's energy out of these blocks, including your own. And then once you get all that, they just like, they just melt away completely. And then that energy just comes right in, of yours that, needed to come. So it helps you be more present, potentially more physically comfortable, and also, the more you're here, the stronger boundaries you have, the easier it is for you to, hold your space, have invasive energy in your space. So, okay, so then let's do the front lower receiving zone. So from the waist down to feet. Any energy of you can imagine any energy of yours that wants to come in this way, straight in, and comb through this area and find the blocks that are preventing that from happening, and just comb through that front lower receiving area, find the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then lots of gold light, melt cords. There could be cords from lots of people going into these blocks. And then melt yourself out of the blocks too. And they should just completely dissolve at that point. If there's any left over, you can wrap them in gold light, hand them to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, so then we'll do the back lower receiving zone from the waist on down. Right, this whole area, any life force of yours, any energy, new energy of yours that is meant to come in directly this way to strengthen this part of your physical body, or this part of your astral body, or your auras back here. So you imagine that energy of yours that would come in this way. If you want, it's not necessary, but that's kind of fun. And then just imagine all the blocks, comb through, find all the blocks in this area in all your auras that's in the way of that are healthy and gentle to clear at one time, right now. And then you got all those blocks to say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this breath while your angels do that? And then melt cords. There are probably a lot of cords from a lot of people hooked into this stuff. So just melt all those cords from people. Wash everybody out completely. Wash yourself out of these blocks. And if you have any left over, just wrap them in gold light, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? So then that energy that was queued up of yours to come in that way, automatically comes in once the blocks are gone. So this may make you want to do a stretch, like in a good way, so feel free to do any gentle stretching that you need to do as you're doing this work, of course. So, and then we can do upper receiving zone, which we do, that's not particularly new, but upper receiving zone would, I guess, include this and this. So any of your energy that wants to come in from the top, just comb through from the shoulders on up and find blocks in any of your auras that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now that have been preventing your new energy from coming in this way. And find those blocks and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And then melt people's cords going into this junk. And wash yourself out of all these blocks until it all melts. Or you could blow it up too. If you have any leftovers, wrap them in gold light, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with All right, and then we'll do the lower receiving zone. And comb through, say, from your ankles downward, down to the bottom of all your auras. And find the blocks that typically receiving from the bottom there would be earth energy. So comb through from the ankles on down and find what's healthy and gentle to clear right now as far as the blocks in the way of you receiving earth energy from below. And find those blocks and just say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk. And then melt people's cords, melt people's energy out of all these blocks. Melt your own energy out of all these blocks. You could blow up the blocks too. If you have any left over, just wrap them up in gold light, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right. So check your chakra alignment of your major chakras along your spine. Just real quickly double check that. That you just brought in a lot of new energy in different parts. Face. Couple breaths. Breathe into everything all the way down to your toes and your fingertips. So we could do like a quick version of receiving zones. So we'll repeat it, but just really quickly. So it may be too quick for you, but it's not too quick for me, and I'm doing the healing, so I want to do it again just real quickly, but you might enjoy it quickly. So upper front from the waist on up, unblock that part of your auras. Angels, can you recycle invasive beings hooked into this junk? Melt away people. Again, this is just the healthy and gentle amount to clear right now. You're aware of the energy, your new energy coming in that way from the front since you unblocked. Let's do the back, upper. So from waist on up back here, block this whole area so that new energy could come in into that area that has been wanting to. New energy of yours. So find the blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And just keep melting everybody away with gold light until it all melts. Any left over, wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with that? You can do a special sinus unblocking. I'm personally having some invasive being is like trying to hang on to my sinuses. That's why your nose keeps itching. So just be aware of your sinuses and the area in front of your sinuses. Just freeze any invasive beings in that area and just yank them out. Angels, here you go. Again, in front of your sinuses and within your sinuses, your sinus cavities, which I want to see the image of. So those are all your sinus cavities. They're actually pockets in the bone. They're a hollowed out part of a bone. Sinus nasal cavity. Yeah, not your. That's what your sinus cavity is, hollowed out part. Fun fact. Anyway, so imagine any invasive beings or invasive people that are in front of your sinuses and your auras and or within your sinuses, and just freeze them, yank them out, come to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze them, yank them out. Angels, here you go. Okay, cool. So, supposed to be doing this quickly. So bottom receiving zones, we could try 2 at once. So in front of your legs and hips and behind your legs and hips. Home through, find the energy blocks. Angels, can you recycle invasive beings in these blocks? Wash everybody out, melt cords so that the blocks melt away, or blow up the blocks. Any that won't go away, just give them to your angels. Angels, can you recycle, can you help me with these blocks? Then you can feel that energy of yours that wanted to come in through the front directly through these areas, these receiving zones. Just see how that feels. Then the upper and the lower receiving zones, you can unblock those. The uppermost one and the lowermost one, unblock those at the same time. Find the blocks that are healthy and gentle. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Melt cords going into these blocks from everybody out, yourself out. Blow up the blocks or just really melt them. Any left over, wrap them in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Allow yourself to receive more of your energy in all these areas. How does that feel? Redo your grounding. Is this both your groundings? Wide, red or orange or yellow. Wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Comb through them with gold light from your hands. You want like a fast downward flow, like a downpour of rain or a waterfall. And melt any blocks in the way of that in your groundings. Blocks with light from your hands. All right, good job. Good job, good job. So, woo, good job. So that was unblocking receiving zones 2 different times, which is to help you be more present, have better boundaries, etc. for everything. Helps with everything. Okay, so like I said, you have 2 first chakras, 1 physical first chakra, 1 astral body first chakra, but you only have 1 Kundalini chakra because it's a body thing, a physical body thing. So if you imagine it, it would be like 2 of these, but the Kundalini one is actually smaller. It's like probably half the size of the first chakra, and they're both red, and they're both like right up against each other with round openings in the front and the back. So just imagine your first chakra and your Kundalini chakra. Kundalini chakra is below the physical first chakra. And just use gold light, repair and unblock, melt cords. Was saying that some people I was noticing had an underactive first Kundalini chakra, and some people had an overactive Kundalini chakra. which was just because they're blocked. So the blocks can be like stuffed inside, or they can be just right in front, somewhere like close in front of or behind the chakra itself. Just find the blocks and melt them away. If you have damage to your Kundalini chakra, I mean, we did repair all of them, but it could be that it was so blocked it didn't repair properly. So just double check. Damage would look like, you know, part of it's all crumpled and smashed or ripped off, or cracks. And you want your flaps to be shut in both chakras. So round openings, chakras, the round openings do have flaps just like the creative rings. So you don't want them sticking out like this. You want them shut. So it's like just a smooth round opening of the chakra. So melt cords. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my first chakra or my Kundalini chakra, can you please recite? Hmm. Um, your Kundalini chakra, Kundalini energy, is potentially a sexual energy. You know, if it's a lower, if you're not generating a lot of it, then it may not actually have like a sort of a sexually awakening effect. It may just be like a little bit of a pep, you know, music, you know, like a little bit of charisma, you know. But if you have it turned up medium or high or medium high or whatever, you know, it could be more of a sexual energy. Unless you're like 2 years old, in which case it's just gonna make you scream and go nuts. But you know, anyway, so if you have baggage around your sexuality, it could be in your second chakra and second layer, but it could also be in your Kundalini chakra. So you can go ahead and unshame your Kundalini chakra. You know, just wash it out, be gentle and supportive and upbeat, and just be like, hey, it's all right, it's all right. You know, just be nice and, you know, clean out your Kundalini chakra. You know, I mean, it could be from a past life, you know, but there could be somebody, you know, I remember I've told this story before that when I was little and I was like, you know, getting a little proud of my little developing little girl breasts, that my younger sister was oddly very judgy, and she tried to like sort of shut down my enthusiasm, you know, and be like, don't be that way, you know, kind of. So you can have some people like that in your space about your Kundalini chakra, you know, and maybe you were feeling peppy one day and it was or it wasn't feeling sexual to you, but somebody shamed you for it, you know. So just wash everybody else's energy, all the energy blocks out of your Kundalini chakra to the extent that's healthy, gentle to do. So it's okay. You can have a shame-free Kundalini chakra. And, you know, like I said, it's not only used for sexuality, you know, it can just be charisma and peppiness and, you know, pep in your step, that kind of idea. So clean out your Kundalini chakra. Don't let anyone shut it down for any reason. You want to be able to turn it off for sleep, of course, but you want to be in control of it. So just wash away cords, wash away baggage, kick everybody out. And your first chakra, same thing. All right, and red is a good color for both of those chakras, and you can bring up red earth energy through your legs, through the soles of your feet, and up through your legs into both your first chakra and your Kundalini chakra. So red earth energy up through your legs, into the front of your first chakra and your Kundalini. Red earth energy up your legs, into the front of your first chakra, the front of your Kundalini, and out the back. Unblock the back of both your Kundalini chakra and your first chakra so that that red earth energy can go throughout your first layer of your aura. And I suppose if there's stuff that you need to release out the back of your first chakra, it would go all the way down your groin. You know, like just blocks and release. Red earth energy up your legs into the front of your first chakra and your Kundalini. Unblock the fronts so that that's easy. All right, good enough. So that was unblocking the Kundalini chakra and the first chakras, as well as bringing up red earth energy up through the leg to go into the front of chakra and the which could help with creative inspiration. Because creative inspiration, it's like you can't be down in the, it's hard to have creative inspiration if you're down in the dumps. And Kundalini is one of the energies that can be sort of can lighten you up enough to be in the neighborhood of creative inspiration. Also your creative rings, of course, too. Lighten you up with that too, but we already worked those. Okay, so this is, I think, kind of a cute, efficient way to get people out of your space. Yay. So there can be people in your space trying to help you, trying to harm you, being jealous, being bitter, being whatever. You don't have to worry about why they're in your space. It's just that, let's get them out, right? So what you can do, you know, without, if you're not, you know, like super clairvoyant and you don't see like, oh, they're in that chakra or this part of my leg or blah, 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 this part of my aura. What you can do is just imagine a room that, you know, and have it, the people in the room be the people in your space, right? So even if you don't know how many people are in your space, just imagine a room and the people in that room are the people in your space. See how crowded is that room? And again, you know, even people that you like, you know, it's not healthy to have them in your space all the time. So what you can do then with this room that you're imagining is imagine that the floor of the room is all the energy blocks that allow those people to be in your space. In other words, like those, technically speaking, those people are courting certain energy blocks, and that's how they're able to send their energy into your space and be in your space. So you got the room, the people in the room are the people in your space, and the floor of that room, you can melt it. And the floor represents the energy blocks in your space that allow those people to be there. So just go ahead, imagine the room, imagine the people in your space. Those are the people in the room. and just be like, okay, and try to be, don't be judgy about it, just chill out. And okay, so then you're gonna melt the floor of the room. And as you melt the floor of the room, the whole thing melts and everyone pops out of your space, which is cool. So go ahead and you can say, angels, help me do this gently and safely. And just melt the floor. Invasive People Room. You could say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clean out, can you please recycle them? You could also blow up the floor. That might be cute. But I like melting. Yeah, so then once you melt the floor, the whole thing should melt. The people pop out. Good job. So we'll do it one more time in case there's anybody being sneaky who's still there. Because too, with healthy and gentle, maybe you kicked out a bunch and, maybe reground first before we do a little more. So recreate your groundings really quickly, make them nice and wide all the way down the core of the earth, make them both red or orange or yellow. Comb through a copy of your groundings so that they're flowing really well so you can release all you want, right? Okay, so now imagine a brand new Invasive People room that's a symbolic representation of, your space and all the people in your space. And so that's all you're seeing is the people in your space, right? So how many people are in your Invasive People room? And don't harm them at all. This is a good karmically clean thing we're doing to get them out. Just imagine the floor of the room is the energy blocks that they're cording that allows them to be in your space. And that's basically your baggage. It could be other people's energy that's dumped in your space, but it's just energy blocks in your space. And so melt the floor. As you melt the floor, then they won't be able to be in your space anymore. So keep melting the floor of your Invasive People room. You could say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you please recycle them? And so then once the floor's gone, then the people disappear, the room disappears because you just popped them out of your space. Yay! You can just comb through all your space, all your 17 auras, make a copy out in front of you, comb through all your 17 auras, comb through your physical body and your astral body, comb through both your groundings. You can redo your gold buffer zones, big gold force fields attached to the edge of your physical body aura and your astral body aura. All right, good job. A rock star. Woohoo! Yay! Good job. All right. Beans. Oh, and I have forgotten to say so far, if you could please give this live stream a thumbs up. Even later, if it's a video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It really does help. Woohoo! Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this section and the next section are for focus and mindful actions. So basically, like less wasting time, better time management, less train wrecking, and spending more time on something than you realized you were going to do. So the first of the two things is clearing barriers to healthy self-awareness. So it's basically like self-awareness baggage that you have. And like I said, it could be shame, guilt, self-judgment, or other people's energy in your space of shame, guilt, or just whatever they've dumped in your space, judgment, expectations, whatever. So you don't have to worry what it is. It's just any junk in your space that's in the way of your healthy self-awareness. So like, you know, if you've already wasted a half hour or an hour, you know, it's better to realize what you're doing in a constructive way rather than like, oh, I'm such a loser, now I'm going to do another hour. You know, like just be nice to you. Be like, wow, this is really happening. Well, what can I do? Let me take a deep breath. You know, really be gentle with myself and figure this out. You know, so the more you clear the blocks, the more you can kind of course correct more efficiently sooner. So put any baggage out in front of you that is in the way of your healthy self-awareness, right? And so you can imagine like big mountains of baggage. And then you can say, angels, is this all healthy and gentle to clear right now? Deep breath. And then you can say too, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then you could blow all this junk up, or you could just melt cords from people going into this junk, wash people out of the piles, wash yourself out of the piles. And if you keep clearing everybody, including yourself, out of the piles, they should just melt away. But you could blow them up. And if you have any left over from that, just wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? We'll do that one more time, a little faster. So put your baggage out in front of you that's in the way of your healthy self-awareness so that you can course correct and make more mindful choices. Put all that baggage out in front of you, self-awareness baggage. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Breath. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this stuff right now? That way they'll remove anything that's too much. And then just lots of gold light, melt cords going into this stuff from other people. Wash everybody out of the piles. Wash yourself out of the piles. And you should be able to just melt them fully, or you can blow them up. Any leftovers, just wrap in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Breaths. Give yourself any shoulder rubs or hand massage. Any stretching. So the next thing also is for, again, focus and mindful action, just like the section right that I just finished. We're going to clear intense blocks or focus splitting blocks. So again, this could help with better time management, better mindful actions. It could also be considered clear stabs. Stubborn triggered energy blocks is a very similar thing. But I just feel like this is more how it feels. Like these blocks are really intense. Because invasive beings and or people are using them to like pummel you somehow. So just put out in front of you all your intense energy blocks, all the focus splitting, sort of mind blowing kind of energy blocks that are in your space right now. And just say, angels, are there any invasive, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Keep breathing. And then generally these are all healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, but you could ask if you wanted, but I don't think that's really an issue. Because if they're intense, then it is healthier to get rid of them. But anyway, so wash everybody out, melt cords going into them. There could be cords from all sorts of people, like every relative, every like inner family, immediate family relative, everyone you've ever dated, whatever, everyone you work with. But just melt all the cords and then melt the blocks fully or blow them up. If there are any left over, just wrap them up in gold light. Say, angels, can you help me with it? Do that one more time. So any energy blocks that are really intense, it just feels really intense because stuff is coming in through them, or focus splitting. It makes it hard for you to focus. So have copies of all those blocks, the intense focus splitting blocks, have those out in front of you. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And then just lots of gold light. Melt cords from people going into all this junk. Everybody fully out, including yourself. So that the blocks can melt. You can use gold fire. Burn everybody out with gold fire. It's gold light, that's fine. And then you can blow up the blocks or continue to melt them fully. Gold light. If you have any left over, just wrap them up in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right, good job, good job. Let's do some butterflies. That one we have. Go. Yay. Switch to the moving water. There we go. Good job, good job. Okay, so we're going to unblock tree trunk areas. And normally I would say, well, it's just so, you can be more present in your major joints. You can be more present in general, better with boundaries, so energy safety. But I've been saying too that hearing your angels to do that, you kind of have to be at a sort of you can't be down in the dumps. Well, it's hard to hear your angels if you're down in the dumps, right? So you need like a level of flow and, lightness to hear your angels, like in your body, but lightness, right? And so this unblocking tree trunk areas is unblocking above your head and all your major joints, these ones that, are like on either side of your spine. So shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, elbows, wrists, you know. So it's a good time also to tune your body and kind of lift you a little, and your astral body too, so that you have more refinement and flow enough so that you can hear your angels better. So I think, you know, it's an interesting extra aspect of unblocking your tree trunk areas. So let's do it. So above your head, imagine, you know, any blocks above your head that could allow invasive energy to come down through there, and kind of tree trunk into your major joints. So unblock up there. Find all the blocks at once if you want, and say, you know, all the blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now above your head, and just say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then just melt them away or blow them up. Melt everybody out of these blocks above your head. And then I'm just going to do all these major joint areas all at, I'm not going to do them like one at a time. I'll just go back and forth. So I'll list them all at first in case you're not aware of them. So shoulder joints, hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints, and shoulder joints, elbow joints, and wrist. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle. So again, as you're doing this, you can move out the blocks that are in the way of you hearing your angels in those major joints. If you have any invasive beings that are in those joints or in the tree trunk areas at all, so including above your head, you can move out the invasive beings. Just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? You don't have to move them out. You can just say, angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings in my major joints and above my head? But sometimes it's kind of depends on how bold you're feeling. So any invasive beings in your major joints or above your head, you can freeze them, move them out. Angels, here you go. And again, major joints, just melt away any energy that throws your vibration off. And this is like major joints too, I should remind you. I mean also the major joint areas in your astral body. So, because your astral body looks like a physical body, so it has an area right here, you know, even though it doesn't have bones and actual physical joints. So I mean this area, these areas as well in your astral body. Right? So all those areas, just kind of tune them so they have enough flow, strength to help you be stable and help you hear your angels in a healthy way, both consciously and subconsciously. Above your head too. Okay, so the next one has to do with angels as well. And like I said, there is a 3-minute video on this process. It's super easy to do. I could link that video below later. but it's in the short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel. So you just imagine yourself and imagine your angels. Okay, so angels are divine altruistic spirits that were assigned to you before your life began. They're not a part of one religion or another or anything. You know, so it doesn't matter if you have a religion or you don't. So you just imagine yourself and your angels. And also while you're at it, you can imagine any what I call fake angels. Basically invasive beings that are pretending like they're angels. So you can imagine them in one row too, and have you say, angels, can you recycle all these fake angels for me, please? And if you're not confident enough to just through your intention imagine which is which, you can just say, you know, imagine all your angels. And if you think, well, I think some of those are not angels, just say, angels, can you recycle all the fake angels that I have? That way your angels know and they'll sort it out for you. Okay. So then now just you have yourself, you have your angels, and just imagine any baggage that you have within your space, any blocks, any junk, whatever, in your space that's in the way of you receiving angel help, of you hearing angels, receiving their advice, all that good stuff, right? So imagine yourself and imagine your angels and imagine it like a wall in between you and your angels, all that baggage that's blocking angel help and advice, right? And just use cold light and melt this baggage wall. It could be, you know, somebody else's energy in your space. You don't have to worry about what it is. Just melt the wall so that you're able to hear your angels clearly, both consciously and subconsciously, as much as possible. And to receive their healing. Because angels are always trying to heal you. It's just, you know, it's easy to get baggage and stress that blocks it, either fully or partially. So if you melt that away, then better. So again, imagine yourself, imagine your angels, and any junk in your space that's interfering between you receiving angel help. Imagine it like a wall in between you and your angels and melt the wall or blow it up. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! Yay. Woohoo. It's chaos. We have butterflies, we have confetti. Oh my gosh. Mayhem. Okay, so we know that, so this is the last thing we're doing before the wrap up, I believe. So we have a 3-part theme, right? And so what we can do is just, you know, as one of the last things we're doing in this healing is just put out in front of you any baggage in the way of the themes, and then just clear it all at once with angel help. So anything in the way of you hearing your angels, you know, any baggage in the way of you hearing your angels in a really healthy, supportive, constructive way. Just put all that junk out in front of you. Anything in the way of you having healthy, creative inspiration, you know, put all that junk out in front of you. Anything in the way of you having stability through self-care and really getting better and better and better with your self-care, eating, your sleeping, all that good stuff, all the care. And then you can say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? That way, if there's anything that's a bit too much to do at the same time, they'll remove some. Okay? And then you can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please cycle them? Breath. So then you can melt cords going into all this junk and wash everybody out of these piles. And you can blow all this up or just keep using gold light to fully melt all the piles of baggage. All right, so we'll do it one more time, a little faster. So any theme blocks, put them out in front of you, right? Any blocks in the way of your hearing angels, creative inspiration, or stability through self-care, right? Put all those blocks out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, if there are any invasive beings in this junk, can you please recycle them? Deep breath, melt everybody out and blow it up or keep melting with gold light till it is all gone. And any left over, you could just give it to your angels, ask them for help with it. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right. So as we wrap up, you can ask your angels, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with my creative inspiration? Angels, can you help me with my self-care and stability? Angels, well, ask your angels to help you hear them better. Might be a little bit inside out. You can say, I'm going to let my angels help and guide me. It's like your intention and you're clearing the blocks through your intention. I'm going to let my angels. I'm going to listen to. All right. So fabulous. Oh my goodness. You see. Good job, good job, good job. You're such a rock star. Woohoo, that's a healing. Yeah. All right. So now, what we did 2 days ago, right at the end, I quite enjoyed, is a bathroom break and stretch break. So it will probably realistically be like real Janet time 2 minutes, real time probably 3 or 4 minutes. We'll see. But let's see, I'll try to give you something interesting to look at in the meantime. If you're going to be here the whole time, maybe a lava lamp. Do you want to look at a lava lamp? Let's see. Yeah, so I will I'll be right back. That mess. The camera, but I will be right back. So then I'll obviously about that. Okay, so I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Yeah, I was just gonna stretch for a minute, and then I'll do the chat comments. If you wanted me to validate like your own read on how you're like an issue that you have, or you just want to mention how you're doing after the healing, or comment about the theme. Okie dokie. Okie doke. So I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. I'm going to try to do that. My phone behaves. Not doing. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see. So I did notice somebody was making quite a lot of comments. So obviously my intention generally is to read everyone's comments, but if you do make more than a few, I will skip over a bunch of them and read them later. But anyway. But you're mentioning your mom, and so that's cool. Somebody says thank you so much. Oh, you're in Washington State as well. Well, hello to you. Washington State. Cool place. Well, I guess I've never been, well, momentarily I was in Eastern Washington, but Eastern Washington and Western Washington are pretty different weather-wise, and from what I hear politically as well. I'm in Western. Let's see. Someone says, hi, Janet, from Michigan, 47 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. That's you. Someone says, why does our spirit and soul stay in or with our body other than astral travel? Well, I think you get it confused. Astral travel is when you're asleep, your body is in bed and you're not with your body. You are on the astral. And then you come in when you wake up. So like people who say I'm not a morning person, they have a lot of trouble getting fully in or getting even partially into their body in the mornings. That's partially why some people feel that need for caffeine, because it kind of jams them in more. Maybe not fully or well, but you know, more, so they're more functional. So our spirit and soul, I mean, I don't really differentiate the two, your spirit and your soul. I mean, your astral body is a part of you as a spirit. It's the part of you that could fully come in to all your physical chakras and, you know, be fully present. So that's most of what we heal in these healings. There's also a part of you that always stays on the astral, which I like to call your astral body, even though that's a silly name. Names. So that's your astral body. And then there's like your 8th chakra, which is also a part of you that doesn't come in. That's more of like, you might call it your higher self or something. It has like a lot of past life knowledge and wisdom. I don't know that answers your question, but someone says tuning in late from Muckamore, which I happen to know is in Northern Ireland. Hello to you in Muckamore. Alrighty, well, thank you for the little heart emoji. That's kind of cute. This is hi from Australia. Perfect weather today. Wasn't that nice? Well, good. I'm glad you have perfect weather. People are doing emojis. Someone said just had deja vu feeling when you spoke of cleaning your Kundalini chakra. There you go. Someone says thank you for the healing, Janet. I liked this. Oh, good. As far as Kundalini stuff, I do have a Kundalini playlist, which I'll link below later. It's just like some of the videos where I've done Kundalini stuff, you know, like unblocking chakras and repairing and just explaining about Kundalini. So I'll link that below later in the comment section. All right. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I really liked the Invasive People floor. Yeah, melting the floor in the Invasive People room. Yeah. Good. I'm glad that made sense. Tree trunk work helped my neck too. I've been feeling cranky and resentful towards friends not respecting my boundaries. Self-assessment is, oh, okay. So your issue is you've been angry, you've been cranky and resentful towards friends not respecting boundaries. And your self-assessment is, your self-assessment is feeling walled off parts of me. Oh, you're saying what you should do about it. Feeling walled off parts of me and clearing piles of baggage. I'm a 4th chakra and layer work too. Yeah, definitely. I think you're right on with the whole clearing piles of baggage you're avoiding. Could help you with boundary issues with people, for sure. Feeling walled off parts of you. I mean, a lot of times that helps, but I think right now that's not really much of a boundaries problem for you at the moment. But in general, that is a good thing to do. But I don't think that's the issue so much, but the baggage you're avoiding, I think that would be more directly helpful issue. Invasive friend. 4th chakra and 4th layer work too. How did I do? Yeah, you could do 4th chakra and 4th layer, but you could just do, you know how we did like right before the end of the healing, we just put out any baggage in the way of the theme. You could do that, you know, because some of the baggage that you need to clear to have better boundaries with friends might be 7th chakra baggage. It might be, you know, Kundalini chakra baggage. It might be 2nd chakra baggage. So it'd probably be more efficient just to put all your, you know, boundary causing baggage, boundary problem causing baggage. I don't know how to say it well. Anyway, any baggage you could clear to help your boundaries with your friend. Just blow it up all at once. Clear your friends out first, maybe. Ask your angels if it's too much. That'd probably be more. But yeah, fourth chakra and fourth layer work is always a good idea, really, every day of your life. If you want fourth chakra, fourth layer. Fourth chakra is like the feel good chakra, you know, motivation, enthusiasm, great things. So, you know, we could go back and forth about like, okay, do you really need that for, you know, I think your angels just want you to do that anyway. Yeah. But anyway, then more happy emojis. Someone says, thank you for the healing. You're welcome. I almost felt like being a couch potato and zoning out, but pulled myself up and started stretching. How about that? It worked. See, isn't that amazing? My right hip feels weak and think it's because I'm more in my physical body. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that it's just that you're more there, so you're more aware of that area than you were before. I think I'm usually not in my first at all. Yeah, I think that's correct. An interesting thing is to look at, like, if you want, you know, you don't have to, but geeky fun maybe is when were you in your first chakra? You know, because like some people, like their moms and or their dads were kind of a little too full tilt when they were like even in the womb, you know, and they had like energy connections to their mom and their dad, and so they weren't, they even in the womb when the baby spirits coming and getting used to the body and everything, they weren't even in their first chakra then. Or maybe they were and they were born and they were in their first chakra, but then like when they were 4, they just took on too much of dad's stress or mom's drama or whatever, and then they weren't in their first chakra anymore, you know. Or maybe it was, you know, they were fine and they were in all their chakras until, you know, they were 10 or whatever, or, you know, 20. Some people are in the whole time and they never go out, but that's pretty rare. So you could look at that. That's kind of a really geeky way. When were you in your first chakra? Because yeah, these days you're not in your first chakra, but you know, it could be interesting to look at. And yeah, maybe, you know, biker shorts is a nice you know, cool way to work all your lower chakras. There's my biker shorts image that I love so much. There we go. Thank God it didn't bring up the other one right away. The one's so jarring. The one with that guy, and I'll put it up just for fun since I mentioned it, but where is it? There we go. Those are all the biker shorts meridians in the front of the body. Then there's biker shorts meridians in the back of the body. I don't think I have a handy diagram for that one. I do, but I have to. Yeah, I think it's, oh. Oh, this shows all at once. How love that. All about that. So here you can see the front biker shorts points, most of them at least, right there. And then the back biker shorts point there. I do love that image. I worked hard to make the image actually because I had to do different screen prints and like pair them up. And I had to like count. I had to learn, okay, like how many points are there? Because you don't want to, like, if I pair them up wrong, then it's gonna make the meridian be inaccurate as far as number of. I'm very proud of this. This is sort of here. I didn't make the images though. I just cut and paste them together. You'd think I made them. I'm so proud. But anyway, so those are the urinary bladder meridian is the yellow one, and the kidney meridian is the orange one right there. Good stuff, geeky stuff. There is a short video that is just that image, you know, of the front and the back that I just showed you, and it works some cool little short video. I don't know how long it is, maybe 10 minutes or so, maybe longer. Not super long though. It's in the, it has UB and KI in the title. Those meridians. All right. Next. What am I doing on my time? I only want to do 30 minutes, about half. Somebody says, I like, oops. Okay. I like the invasive people in the room and melting the floor technique. Yeah. I'm glad that made sense. I'm feeling peaceful. My left hip is getting whacked, but I'm okay with that. I can heal it. Thank you for all your work today. Welcome. Yeah. Another thing too is interesting, you know, you can do energy healing flowers for a certain part of your body, you know, like, so you can make energy healing flowers for a certain hip, you know, and just tune it. And then say, angels, can you check these flowers and then just give them to that part of your body? So like nourish, nourish, nourish. Obviously clearing is good too, but you know, specialized nurturing just for nourishing just for a certain part of your body, like one of your hips or both your hips is pretty cool. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. You are welcome. How am I doing right now? Been stressed, but see it as still being a first chord issue with the kids and spouse. See, there you go with the self-assessment. So a first chakra cord issue with the kids and the spouse. So for those who don't know, parents of young kids, they should have, and they do generally have a first chakra cord at the first chakra between the parent first chakras and the kids first. And so that should be a one direction flow from the parents to the kid, giving the child red earth energy extra, and also a little bit of the parents first chakra energy, just until they're like 12 years old-ish, around there, and at which age they can generate enough first chakra energy on their own, so then they don't need that first. So your issue is, you're saying you've been stressed, but it's still probably that same issue. Yeah, and I think you're right. That's accurate. Maybe what I just said about like specialized energy healing for your first chakra, that could be interesting. Yeah, that. You could also, I've mentioned before, but it hasn't been recently, that people can, you know, like say you're a parent of a young child, so there's that first chakra cord. You could run gold light through that connection, because sometimes, you know, that can alter the vibration of it nicely too. But if your first chakra is so unstable, then you're just going to be sending more unstable energy through it after that. But it's nice to, you know, run gold light through, you know, imagine it as cord, and just, you know, you can imagine it out in front of you or just right there, and just, you know, use gold light and clean it off. You can bring up red earth energy and clean it off. That might be nice too. But flower healing for the first chakra, just to like actively keep nourishing your first chakra to get it stronger, so that it can generate, you know, so it can handle the health issues that you have and generate enough extra for your kids. All right. You could ask the angels to heal your husband, you know, just keep asking that, you know, angels, please heal my husband and me, you know, help, please heal me and my family. Okay. Hope that helps. And good job on the self-assessment. You're right. Someone says, what else? Is there a part, that other person, is there a part that you could do more? That invasive people room, the person with the kids, that I just was talking about, you could, I don't know if you listened to the healing, you heard that part about the invasive people room, and you imagine the room and anyone in your space is standing in this room, and then you just melt the floor of the room, and the floor represents the energy blocks within your space that allow them to be in your space. You just melt the floor away, and then the whole thing dissolves because they're popping at you. That could be interesting. You could do that. You could even do that for your kids and just have the intention that, you know, you're not getting rid of the cord, the first chakra cord, you're just getting rid of them out of other parts of your space. So that could be interesting to do too. You know, because when kids start cording other chakras and not just the first chakra, then it gets really so you could do that whole invasive people room thing with your kids. That could be interesting. And that'll be its own chapter in this healing once I finish the timestamps, the chapters by late tonight. Invasive people room. Someone says, hi, Janet. I think my angels have to do all the work because I am so confused. I seem to try to imitate your dance a little later with the wrong steps. Well, that sounds very poetic, but I'm not sure totally what you mean by imitating my dance later with the wrong. But so now we're both confused. But I mean, angels, it's not hard for them to do work, so don't worry about that. I think if you do, like, you know, like say if you take any of those short videos in the short video playlist, if you do any of them, it does work what you're doing. I just think that you kind of have two issues. One issue is that you need a lot of healing. And so when you need a lot of healing, unfortunately, it's hard to feel like a big, wonderful, fabulous before and after, because it's like you're still kind of scattered. You're just less scattered. But by still being scattered, you don't feel this amazing, like, oh, that was great. I'm a fabulous self-healer. You know, you just feel like, you know, maybe even exactly the same, but your day tomorrow is better. Your sleep is slightly better than it would be, you know, like that kind of thing. So there is a ripple effect, but just having faith that, you know, I mean, I can validate that what you're doing does work when you use my videos and stuff. It's just that there's so much, you kind of have to play catch up because you, like, for the last, like, 11 years or so have been less present. And so a lot has sort of built up. Your boundaries have just sort of broken down more over the last 11 years. So it's like, you know, it just takes time to, you know, clean out and get present enough and nourish enough so that you can really feel like you have your shit together, you know? So you kind of just have to keep encouraging yourself, which isn't that easy, you know, to realize, like, you know, like try to be glass half full about it and be like, well, you know, something is better than nothing, you know, and beginners tend to not have faith in their work, you know, and be like, well, I hope that did something, you know. Whereas the more experience you get, the more present you get, the more you can feel, so you know it did something. But in the beginning, you kind of have to go on faith more, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because it's not as easy as when you're more advanced, and then you can feel every little thing that you do and you're like, oh, I'm fabulous. So I hope that makes sense. So try, if these videos are too daunting, the 3-hour size, even with the chapters that'll be put in later, use the short videos. And but yeah, your healing work does work when you do it. I wouldn't just hope that helps. It says, thanks, Janet, about friends and boundaries. I always go to fourth stuff for when I'm mad. So good to know a big overall baggage clearing is better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just more efficient. Because it could be a whole bunch of different things. If you're especially mad, sometimes, somebody's whacking you in that moment, and that is kind of pissing you off. So that's another thing to check for. Also, repressed anger is second chakra and second. That's why, there's so many different things. So, yeah, nice to clear baggage from wherever it is all at once. Someone says, good work. Thank you. I will nourish my left foot. Thank you. You're welcome. This is, hi, Janet, just tuning in now. I want to think my boundaries are a little better with my parents. That's true. Got whacked quite a bit today and Friday in the back of the head. Would you say it's better even by a small percent? Yeah, it is. The issue that you're having is that when you're more present, then you're more aware. So you're like, I just got whacked again, whereas, 6 months ago, you would just kind of tune out for half a day and not do much. And so you wouldn't be like, oh, I just got whacked. You'd be like, oh, I need to do this. And, you'd just be kind of like less focused and less here, But when you're present enough that things are happening, you're getting whacked, or your grounding is blocked or whatever. And so it feels like it's out of nowhere, like, where's all these boundary issues? I'm not making any progress. But you're here, and that's the progress part, that you can get whacked but still be here, and then you notice it. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Sometimes in spirituality, you have to remind yourself that progress is progress. Because it's not all like roses and champagne. But yeah, your boundaries with your parents is, I'm not in the mood for a percentage on it, but yeah, I think you're not in denial anymore, so you're much more aware of like the nuances of what goes on with you and your parents than you were before. LOL, your description is spot on. I'd space out for half a day, and now I notice it more. Still progress. Exactly. All right, cool. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Ooh, I have 4 minutes left. I did want to mention that I mentioned it like last set. I made a video. It was like a lot of the talking in this video is that pet update that I did, late last month. But I added to it video, like 2 different little video clips of Izzy, our beagle, and then a video clip of our dog, our new cat, Boo Boo Kitty. And I put that video on I have a different YouTube channel that's for like personal stuff that I want to share publicly. And so it's like my personal public channel. It's called Janet's Pineapple Time. And so I'll just channel. So if you did want to go to that YouTube channel, you could, and I link the specific, it's the latest one in there, but it's like a pet update, I think I call it, from March 2025. And but the link, if you go to the info section of this live stream, at the very bottom, I posted that link to that video. But anyway, probably some people didn't get to see it, and it's cute because like at the end of the live stream, even if I do show our dog, like he's sound asleep, plus he's got a cone on his head, so it's not that exciting. But in those little video clips, you know, he's like all happy and we're feeding him treats. You get to see him more in action. Yes, Janet's pineapple time. It's a weird name, I but yes, that is actually the name of the YouTube channel. It's yeah, it's a long story. That's the name of it. Also on that YouTube channel is this half-hour video that my husband made. It's like a little documentary video of our cross-country trip. Because at the time we had 7 pets, 3 dogs and 4 cats. And we moved from Chicago to here, to Olympia, Washington. And we drove the whole way. And we bought a special car for it, a Dodge Grand Caravan, because the back seats and the middle seats stow away into the ground, the floor of the van. And then we had specialized cage setups for the 4 cats and 3 dogs, and so that video is. We called it Herbie Goes to Washington because Herbie was our smallest dog that we had at the time. All those dogs have since passed. They were 2 out of 3 of them were senior pups. All of them. But anyway, Herbie was adorable. He's a great dog. And so he was a big star in that video. But it shows all of them and us. You can see me in that video when I like have aura damage. Because back then that was in 2016. I didn't actually know about aura damage back then. Which is funny, you know, because aura repair is such a big standard thing now. But back then, it was almost 10 years ago, I didn't know about aura damage. So you can definitely see me a little more scattered than I would otherwise be because I didn't know repairing aura damage consciously. But anyway, okay, well, good. So that's a little chit chat about that. Yes, the Herbie Goes to Washington video on the channel Janet's Pineapple. All righty. Well, cool beans. So the final healing in this set of 3 healings is in 2 days on Tuesday. And as I have said once or twice before, not the next month's triplet, but the month after that, the June triplet, which will go on sale in 9 days from now on the 15th. The June triplet set, the days will be spaced out more, like I do with the twin set already. So they'll be on Thursday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So it'll be really cool because there'll be 2 days of no healing in between each healing. Right? And so I think it's better for me to just have a life and rest and also prepare, you know, in between each healing. And I think it's better for other people too, it seems like, based on feedback, just to be able to reflect and live your life and kind of, you know, because each live stream has a lot of teaching. And, you know, if it goes too fast, you might be too busy to, you know, really ponder any of it. But, you know, with the extra day there, if you wanted to, you have time, a little bit, potentially more time than you would have had to review some of it if you did want. So anyway, that is starting not next month, but the month after, the spread out triplet set. But the spread out twin set already happens, and that'll happen later this month on the Thursday the 17th and Sunday the 20th. Someone says, I like the new spacing for the healings. Oh, good. And so I will just put the website here. And let's see, and with lava lamp. Oh, we have lava lamp. And with something different. Rises. let's be smaller. I'll be like in the middle. All right. Well, you guys are amazing. Oh, someone else likes basic. All right. So you guys are amazing. Bye.